So I finished watching Scott Peterson, the documentary on Peacock. A lot of it was the same old story. The only thing that they were emphasizing on is the fact that so there was this van that I don't even know. Who knows? Some people said they saw a van. They potentially saw a woman that could be pregnant that was forced into this van. And then the van was found on December 5th, burnt. And this is their big, smoking gun. That there's a bed inside this van that was not completely destroyed. And, it appears to have human blood. Now, I don't know what the F is going on with this shit. Okay, I don't know. One guy says that he took a sample of it. They tested it was human blood. Then they retested it and it wasn't human blood. And I have no idea what's going on. But it seems like that's just old news. That's it, Look, how about this? I'm going to give you a different perspective, okay? How about it turns out to be, hypothetically speaking, it is Lacey Peterson's blood on that bed. And she was, in fact, abducted, okay? Because there was a woman who saw, well, she claims that she saw a woman being forced into a van on December 24th, right? So here's the thing. Is it possible that Scott hired these people to do that? Ding, 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 right? Is it possible? No one's talking about this. They're just basically making it seem like if it turns out to be Lacey's blood on the bed, Scott's innocent. Now he's free falling, he's free. That's it, he's exonerated. But the thing is it possible he hired these people? Now, I find it to be very odd and very weird how the guys who are the robbers, of the house that's across the street, the burglars, they apparently rushed to take a polygraph. They're like, we had nothing to do. We robbed this house. Oh, we definitely robbed it. And we'll go to jail for that. There was like two guys. They're also saying there could be potentially more people. But they immediately wanted to take a polygraph that they had nothing to do with Lacey Peterson's disappearance. Is it possible they were doing all of this because they wanted to throw Scott Peterson under the bus? Because who does that? Normally you don't get a case where someone immediately wants to cooperate with the police. I'm talking about guys who, are convicts. They're going to jail. Like, these are guys that admitted 100%, oh, we robbed the house, 100%. We robbed the house, but we didn't have anything to do with Lacey Peterson. So I just found it to be odd. It was almost like they wanted to protect themselves. Like, hey, I'll go to jail for a year for robbing the damn house. I ain't going to jail the rest of my life for murder. It's like they wanted to get away from that. It's just the whole thing is weird. Look, Scott Peterson goes to Amber on December 9th. It's the same time he buys a boat. And he tells Amber, my wife's dead. Now, understand, this is when they were dating, and she's thinking that that's it. He's a single guy. He just lost his wife. He didn't say he just lost his wife. His wife's dead. And he said, it's the first holiday I'm going to spend without my wife. Well, that 2 weeks later, you're telling me she's gone? She's abducted? She's dead? Was this guy clairvoyant? You know what I mean? That's not something you say to a woman if you want to cheat on your wife. You want to cheat on your wife. You don't say that my wife's dead. You can say we're divorced. You can say we're separated. He said something clear-cut. That's not circumstantial to me. He said something clear-cut. My wife is gone. She's dead. Then she turns out to be dead. Was this guy a psychic? Guy should have played the mega. You know what I mean? What's going on here? How does the odds, the chances of you saying something like that, my wife's dead when she's alive and well, and then 2 weeks later she turns out to be dead? That's got to be like the same odds of the Powerball or something. Okay, so no, I think that it was something he knew he wanted to do. He wanted to start a new life. He's trying to make it seem like Amber, this is another thing. Oh, she's a one-night stand. She meant nothing to me. Meant nothing. It was I think they had so many hours of them talking on the phone that they lost track. I don't even know how many hours. It was insane. The guy was talking to this woman constantly calling her. And I'm not even talking about before, all of this craziness was going on, that they were searching for Lacey, and this guy was talking to Amber at, what's that thing called, Jen? the visual. Like this was that they all have the candlelight visual for Lacey, and they're all praying, for her safe recovery. This guy's on the phone with Amber saying that he's in Paris. That he's like, oh my God, the fireworks show here is I mean, guys, I was obviously out of his mind. There's no question about that. No question, guy's a psychopath.
Well, I think he was mentally sick.
Right, but the thing is that he continues to talk to Amber like day after day. That's not someone who's having a one night stand with someone does. You don't continue to talk. The definition of a one night stand is a one night stand. You do your business and then hasta la vista, baby. You don't talk to them anymore. This guy's talking to this woman so much. The cop said he went to Radio Shack, right? The cop he got the tape recorder. He said within 5 seconds that he had it connected to the phone. The phone was ringing. Ding, ding, it's Scott. Like this guy was obsessed with talking to her. So a lot of stuff just doesn't make sense. It seems to me, this is my conclusion, Scott wanted a new life. He wanted to be with Amber. It wasn't a one-night stand. He wanted a new life. He wanted a new life. Seemed like he said it. He didn't want a biological son. He didn't want to pay child support. And I'm not saying that he's the one who killed his wife, but I definitely think that he wanted her gone because, like I said, he's telling Amber, right, my wife's dead, and this is when she's alive and well, and she's healthy. This is December 9th. On the 24th is when she was missing. It's like it just seemed premeditated, and all this stuff, like no one is saying it. No one is saying it. Possibly he could have hired people. Is it? I mean, I don't see why that one person is saying this on the documentary. They're all just like, look, if she was abducted by someone on the van or whatever, Scott's innocent. That's it. He's innocent. But wait a minute. Is it possible that Scott hired these people? Anyway, the bottom line is this. Any which way you twist, the tape here, he told Amber on December 9th, my wife is dead. She's gone. It's the first holiday I'm going to spend without my wife. Then she turns out to be dead. Well, it's either this guy's got psychic abilities, or which he should be playing the lotto. I mean, you can still win the lotto, right? You're in jail or something. I don't know. I don't think he has psychic abilities. I don't believe it. Anyway, I think he's guilty. After watching this, I think in some way he was guilty. That's just my opinion. I'll say it's alleged. I can't prove it. I'm not a lawyer. It's not legal advice. I'm not a judge. But in my opinion, what's your opinion? I think in some way, either he did it himself. I mean, again, he bought the boat the same day that he told Amber that his wife was dead. Apparently, he was making these anchors. They were like, homemade anchors. The cop said that it looked like he made 4. He only had 1 on the boat, he claimed. But then, there was this other guy who was part of the investigation. They were searching at sea for bodies. They say they recovered 2 homemade anchors. It's another thing that makes you think, right? I don't know. It's a crazy case. What kind of a guy I mean, you have to ask yourself this question. Like, your wife's 9 months pregnant. I mean, you're out fishing. It's kind of weird, right? On Christmas Eve. I notice a lot of these psychopathic people commit crimes on the worst days, like Christmas effing Eve. That's the day you gotta pick that you want to kill your friggin' wife, Christmas Eve. You can't do it on a regular Monday or a Tuesday. It's not like, you hear about psychopathic people. They kill people on Valentine's Day, like Christmas Eve. There's why Christmas Eve? People are out there, they're singing, joy to the world, the Lord has come. You're thinking, I will kill my wife. I'm gonna take her to the marina. I'm going to throw her off the boat. And I made homemade anchors that will keep her under. And I will call Amber and tell her I love her. That's all crazy. Anyway, I think he did it. Either he killed the wife, my opinion, or he hired someone to do it. That's just the way I see it. So even if ultimately it was proved that somehow she was abducted and taken on this van, and no one's talking about, well, maybe he hired those people. Anyway, what's your opinion? I'll say it's all alleged. Video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. This video is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a judge. But I am the greatest entertainer who's ever lived on planet Earth and the entire universe. The one, the only Apefather in the house, baby. Wow!